Welcome to the movie show, movie time with Charles and Josh. Movie time. Let's talk about movies, yeah. Welcome to
What?
When Will It End?
No, whoa.
Ooh, When Will It End?
That
It's a
was
movie
great.
podcast with the movie time. We talk about the movies. And we don't, Charles, we don't talk about a one movie. We talk about a whole series of them.
Yeah, I'm still.
Movie time. Let's get talking movie time.
So we already had the one song
Yeah.
to start it off.
Right.
We're 2 songs in.
We're
now.
listeners
Are we
at this point will be
replacing?
like, wait, they're starting a new series. Are they rehashing No. No. We can't time travel like Nero
Or Spock.
or Spock. Welcome to When Will It End? This is the good one. It's the series of movies we talk about, and it's time for a new series of movies.
Right. We are done with Mike Myers.
We've done a lot of Mike Myers. I think listeners are probably thrilled to see we've segued to another iconic Hollywood, dare I say, genius?
Well, we didn't.
J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, we didn't get to Die Hard again.
No, didn't get to Die Hard. But that's okay. Our next series,
I don't know,
and we're
probably.
locking it in. It's going to be Die Hard.
We did make the calendar.
We did make the calendar. It's going to be Die Hard.
We made room for
You're going
it.
to love it. Get excited for Die Hard. But first, the rebooted Star Trek series by a little guy. How tall is J.J. Abrams?
Let's look this up.
I'm going to look it up.
Please.
Okay, so Charles, you promoted this idea. I want to let you go. I'm going to go ahead and give it to you.
Okay, yeah, well, I think
How
it's
tall
I think it's a good.
J.J. Abrams? 5'7". Oh, no.
That was good.
So small.
I don't even need to talk anymore. What? Oh, I thought it would be fun.
Okay, so
I thought it'd be fun.
we traditionally approach JJ from different vantage points. I never got into Lost.
Usually from above
Yeah.
because he's so short.
He's so small. I'm taller than JJ.
Really 5'7"?
He's only 5'7".
What Tom Cruise is also 5'7"?
I want to say Robert Downey Jr. is also 5'7".
Do you think they have a 5'7" club?
That'd be very funny. Robert Downey Jr. height, I've Googled this recently, 5'9". Okay, he's a little
Shit,
taller.
a giant.
Okay, he's a monster of a man. 5'9". I believe
we got
he's
Tom-
the tallest man in the world.
Tom Cruise?
And meanwhile, Tom Cruise is a diminutive 5'7".
All right, so we got the 5'7"
So
club.
JJ and Tom are on the same
Do you
level.
think? Yeah, they invite Robert Downs to just come in and show them what they could be.
Yeah, as an inspo?
Yeah.
Heightspo.
Come on.
He's a heightspo.
Come on, Robert.
Get over here, Rob.
Yeah, is that what JJ sounds like?
Yeah, I'm JJ Abrams.
So mostly I chose this series because when I had this job making educational films, the CEO that took, so I worked for this little company that was a multi-million-dollar company that ran the state of Maine's real estate information services. And it's insane. It is not, I now know, it's not a wonder that Trump was elected president.
Okay, for all of us at home, connect those two threads here.
Well,
Maine real estate and the election of Donald Trump. Let's get to the heart of it, then we'll get back to Star Trek.
all right. Number one lobbyist group. What do you think that is?
Real estate, I would imagine.
No, it's pharmaceuticals.
Okay.
But number two,
Real estate.
right? No, have you ever heard anyone talking about real estate lobbyists?
My brother is a real estate lobbyist. I'm not
Oh
joking.
my God, he's so
Yeah.
bad. I'm just saying, like, talk pharmaceuticals.
No, it's for the good guys, for the Democrats,
Oh,
for the good
really?
guys.
Which
Chuck
guys?
Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, maybe Joe Biden for president.
But anyway, I'm just saying this is a total segue, but real estate has a lot of power in this country. No one talks about it. And
Wow.
I'm going to talk about it for a little bit on the
Wow.
show.
Okay, I like that.
That's
people,
the real reason why I chose
They're like,
Star
okay,
Trek
we
today.
just listened to 2+ months of Mike Myers movies, and now we're going to Star Trek. But first,
real
estate.
I know we need to know. This
We
is
got
fucking
to
important.
know.
This is important.
Hey, JJ, for listening. Well, I just keep listening.
You're taught as a fucking youngster that buying a house is the biggest accomplishment you can make. And you know who taught you that? RPAC.
And what is RPAC?
Oh, a realtor. What's a PAC?
Political Action Committee.
Yeah, realtor.
Okay.
The Realtor Political Action Committee. They taught you that. Just like General Mills taught you that breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
It's not?
No.
What is?
That was a lie.
I don't think there is one. I think they just seized territory that didn't exist.
Yeah, just like RPAC seizes territory that doesn't exist.
Well, we talked about, I'm on this
I guess
new diet.
Territory exists because it's
I
land.
only eat General Mills.
You do?
Yeah, 3 meals a day.
Fuck.
Yeah.
They got you.
Yeah.
They got you while you were young.
Yeah, they did. They threw me in a van, drove me to the factory.
Did your mom did you ever get breastfed? Or were you just general?
She would
You were
grind
Mills
up
fed.
General Mills and pour it as though it was from her teat.
Oh, she bought the teat implant.
Right, but it was just like a powdery sort of flow.
It wasn't
of General
even
Mills.
wet?
No.
It was just dry powder?
I've never had liquid.
Oh, no. They got you while you were young.
Yeah.
Got you while you were young.
My urine?
Why do you pee so much? Wait,
It's
sorry.
it's mostly.
I'm sorry I interrupted. Your urine.
It's like a rusty dust.
Oh, that's not funny.
No, it isn't.
Anyway, what was it? Oh, yeah.
RPAC, you
my
work
old
for-
boss used to call
Yes.
me JJ because I used to direct all the little educational films.
It's like that Jew.
He never said that. Never. He was very Christian, though. He probably thought it.
Yeah, they always are.
Yeah.
Goyim are always thinking about us.
Yeah.
Not that you're Jewish.
So
but
true.
You're sort of like almost Jewish.
Yeah, I've been mistaken.
You're very nebbishy.
Yeah.
I know not
What's
all
that?
our listeners know what. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Well, you were just about to explain it to our listeners. You can't explain it to me?
They know.
You can't explain it to me?
You know, like look in the mirror and be like, yeah, that's nebbishy. UK, you just spilled again today.
Stop.
You've
Look at my
spilled.
pants.
You look
There's
disgusting.
stains everywhere.
You just showed up covered in stuff, and then I was
Bean
like,
juice.
right, and then like I've seen you spill like 3 more times today.
Yeah, I
Here's
got
the
it
thing:
all on my
you came to
crotch.
being like, I'm going on a sobriety kick for months.
You think that was leveling me out?
Maybe I think the
I think
drinking
it's
was
probably
keeping you in
calming me
order.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah, keeping me from spilling all the time.
Do you know that JJ has an entire segment in his Wikipedia article called "Unrealized Projects"?
Oh.
That seems cruel.
Yeah, and he's also very short.
He's pretty. He's Tom Cruise short.
Yeah.
It's no good.
He's pretty.
JJ?
Yeah, he's pretty.
No. I don't think so.
No?
Okay.
I like him. Let's do a quick poll of our listeners. If you think JJ's pretty,
Just email us why you think he's pretty. We'll read
Yeah,
it on
we'll
a
read
much later date.
please do. Our email address is wwiepodcast@gmail.com. No, we'll throw them in somehow.
Today's movie came out in 2009. And Charles, I'm going to put it to you. What number? And okay, so this is obviously a very selective Star Trek filmography. Because do you know which number this is in the full franchise?
What do you mean?
Of the complete Star Trek franchise of films, what number is this?
What are you talking about?
This
is number 1.
No.
What are you talking about?
Oh, you're doing a bit.
Yeah, I'm pretending.
No!
I'm pretending to be that guy who doesn't know the Beatles in that
Yeah.
new movie.
Oh, and Yesterday.
Yesterday.
Well, because we are going to date this podcast. That's probably won the Oscar after Bohemian Rhapsody won. I think the next Oscar winner is going to be. Oh, you don't know? Did you? Hey, Jude.
I just spelled again. Do you? Did they get all the Beatles to be in Tomorrowland?
Yes,
What's
yes.
it called?
It's called Tomorrowland. No, it's called Yesterday.
Yesterday.
Because the day before. I mean, like Paul McCartney has to show up in that,
Yeah,
right? There's no
he's
way.
alive, right? Who's alive?
Him and Ringo.
Who's alive?
Well, a lot of people are alive.
No. Which of the Beatles are still alive?
1, Paul McCartney. 2, Ringo. And done.
That's it.
That's it. The
God.
other 2 died.
That lifestyle, man.
It's that rock and roll lifestyle where a man one day shoots you in front of your wife in New York.
Did General Mills teach you about this when
Yes,
they got you?
That's all I was taught about.
Yeah,
The death
about
of John Lennon.
The importance of breakfast and the death of John Lennon.
I was talking to my chiropractor about the Beatles today.
You love your chiropractor.
fucking love
you
my
guys
chiropractor.
chat culture. You chat jazz.
He loves jazz. He loves the Grateful Dead.
Oh my
He
god.
loves the Beatles.
Is he you, or do you just like touch your own back?
I just touched my own neck and
It's like, oh, got a good crack.
Gah. Okay, this is the 11th
Jesus.
Star Trek movie.
How many Star Trek movies have you seen?
That's a great question. I'm going to pull up the full franchise list. No, okay.
Don't. Yeah, you can do that.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah, all right.
I'm
You're
going
such
to
a
go. Okay.
phone guy.
I'm a phone man. What, these millennials with their phones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you're like, yours is a little broken.
It is broken.
I hate it.
It was a sex.
wish
it was a
this-
sex-related accident.
Oh yeah.
I was
What happened? You know when you watch
having
Pornhub on
sex
your phone,
yes, I was
you
watching
just cranked
Pornhub.
one right onto the screen.
I cranked one, and because as we've established, the things that come out of me are largely they're not
Rust,
liquid. I don't
dust.
consume. Right. It was like a thick dust clod hurtled out of my penis, shattered
Yeah.
my screen.
Something like a weapon you'd find in a Fallout game.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
the Fallout games. We should do all of those for spin-off.
How do we do that?
I don't know. They're
Those
too
games are
long.
like 40 hours each.
Yeah, that's part of me getting older is that like I can't do it for like 15 minutes, and those games are very long. Okay,
Wait, you can't do what for 15 minutes?
be myself, I guess.
Oh.
Okay, Star Trek: The Motion Picture, seen it. Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan, seen it. Star Trek III: The Search for Spock, seen
Wait,
it.
can I? No, this is your time. Go.
Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home, seen it. Star Trek V: The Final Frontier, can't remember. Star Trek VI: The Undiscovered Country, maybe. Generations, yes. First Contact, yes. Insurrection, yes. Nemesis, unfortunately. That was in middle school, and that was the first time I ever had Applebee's.
What was your sex accident?
Oh, I dropped my phone while I was having sex, not in a bed, and I stepped on it, and I think a rock or something punctured
Were
the
you
screen.
outside?
Yes.
Whoa, that's hot.
Hey, in this day and age, it's all good to feel alive.
I've only seen Nemesis.
Really?
I
Are you
think.
kidding me?
No.
That's a bad movie.
Yeah, it was bad.
It features a prepubescent Tom Hardy
Oh yeah.
as almost Spock or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's bad. It's
Almost
a truly
Spock.
not good movie.
Yeah, maybe I saw Insurrection. I forget.
First Contact
What's
holds up.
Oh, no, I didn't see that. Never did.
Really? That has James Cromwell. It's directed by the great Jonathan Frakes, a.k.a.
Yeah.
the one and only
The chair stepper.
Riker.
Yeah, he's great. I've seen a lot of TNG.
I was called Noise Riker by people for a little bit.
I love that.
I know. If the boot fits. Yeah, no, so this is, they have a helpful color-coded table here on the Wikipedia page. We are only looking at the reboot of this is like going back to the beginning of the story to give us a brand new vision of this. And I think we're going to try to treat it as much as possible as its own entity.
I think so because that's how I'm experiencing it.
Yeah, because we're hip young millennials.
I've seen Nemesis, and I've seen like 60% of The Next Generation.
There we go.
But that has nothing to do with Kirk, really.
Not a bit. He shows up.
Well, it doesn't. I mean, it has a little bit to do with Kirk because
It's the
they're
same universe.
same ship.
We got to talk about this ship.
You know what? I did watch a little bit of Star Trek. What's the other ship with the guy from Quantum Leap?
Quantum Leap. You're talking about the Scott Bakula one?
Yeah.
Enterprise?
Nope, that's the name of.
No, that's the name of the
that's right.
series,
That
yeah.
is the name of the series. Yeah, I did
That
watch.
is not a beloved one.
I watched like 3 episodes of that with my friend Jason.
I think that's low on lists.
Jason's a beautiful person. He doesn't listen to this show, so I'm gonna. He's the kind of guy that will spend as long as an episode of Stargate telling you about the episode of Stargate
Right.
that you didn't watch.
And if you're listening at home, those stories kill at parties.
Yeah, he doesn't go to parties.
Does he go to Stargate parties?
No, those don't exist.
They don't exist.
Yeah.
Those sound freaky though. I saw the movie when I was a kid, and it's a crazy movie.
Yeah, with Kurt Russell.
Right, and he's the best. But I always remember
Honestly,
it.
Richard, the pivot from Kurt to Richard,
That's a big jump.
so different. What a
Okay,
choice.
so
Anyway, go ahead.
Speaking of being different, I saw Stargate when I was a kid. It stuck with me. The images are great.
Yeah, great movie. I love Egypt.
Egypt is so cool. What happened to Egypt? I think after the Mummy movies, we really never went back to Egypt. Then little Tom Cruise tried to bring us back to Egypt, and society said, "No, Tom, you're Ethan whatever now, and you'll
Yeah.
forever be that."
Yeah, I heard the Mummy was bad.
I did not hear anyone
Wait,
talk
that was
about
supposed to be the start of the new Dark,
universe thing.
and
Nope.
it seems unlikely that it will ever
It
continue.
seems like a stillborn. I don't think. I think the enthusiasm is not there. I will say, for consideration to add to our endless folder of our unrealized projects, akin to our very own JJ, the original Frankenstein movies I love, and they are really fun to watch. Yeah,
All right.
They're great.
We could do them.
They're
I didn't really like the first one,
they get better.
but I'm a literary man.
Oh, man of the words.
Right, of the pages.
Oh, yes.
I love the dust of paper.
Sometimes I'll call Charles and I'll say, "Do you want to go to the multiplex to see the new popcorn thriller?" And he'll say, "You know what? I'm staying home with a good book tonight."
Yeah, I'll say that. I'm not even
But that book is a
ashamed.
fucking porno rag, and it's all stuck together.
Right, but I put it between a real book,
Right,
so just in case
but
mom
it's bigger
comes in.
than the little.
Yeah,
it's The book he's hiding it with is a small book. And the
Oh,
porno mag is
I get
big.
it.
It's funny. You can imagine.
No, I was
that.
thinking of myself holding a giant book,
Oh, and
a
inside is
cartoonishly
you're
large,
right, and, it's a
and
very
then like
normal size magazine, but it
Normal-
looks small because the book is so big.
right.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
They're
also good. They both work.
really good.
They're both pretty good.
I like it.
Yeah. So JJ turns his eyes. At this point, he's done Cloverfield in 2008.
Love that movie.
It's a beloved film.
No, we've already done Cloverfield.
We have in our.
Cloverfield Below Ground. What was that called?
It's called Below Ground Cloverfield. 13 Cloverfield Lane or something like that. He did
the movie about the kids making movies, Super 8.
that wasn't before this.
It wasn't? Maybe you're right.
No, okay. So he did the. Oh, wait, okay. We can't talk about this next one. You can't talk about it. Mission Impossible 3. Don't talk about it.
Okay.
Don't talk about
I
it.
love the opening scene.
I have a lot of feelings about that
Love
movie.
the opening
I have a
scene.
lot of feelings about that movie. We're going to hold on to it and not talk about it now.
Okay.
By the way,
But
just
that
side
opening,
note,
yeah?
is there any series other than Mission Impossible where people truly, every individual person has a different take on that series? I've noticed this.
Is that true?
I've heard people who think 3 is the best. People who think 1 is the best.
Oh, I see what
People
you're
who think 6
saying.
is the best. And again, we'll do that series. That's maybe the holy grail of this, because I think there's no better series that really has a director by director complete overhaul of a series like that. And that was actually the abortive effort to do that series is what led to this whole podcast.
It was, yeah. We tried to get it done in time for the Fallout. That didn't work
and we
out.
couldn't. We just couldn't.
Couldn't do it.
Couldn't do it. Okay, so he didn't even direct. He didn't direct Cloverfield. I'm realizing he wrote.
Oh, right.
He didn't even write it. He just produced
it.
Okay, but no. So the movie, his first movie after being Mr. TV guy,
Right.
was Mission Impossible 3.
Yeah.
This is his second directing.
That's
role.
incredible.
Yeah, is Star Trek.
Who does he know in Hollywood?
Well, I mean, he's worked on a ton of stuff.
TV, yeah. Lost.
But no, but in movies too, because like he wrote Armageddon.
Ah, okay.
He wrote Gone Fishin'. We love that movie.
So he's been in the biz.
He wrote Regarding Henry, a movie that I remember seeing as a kid, because it's a Harrison Ford movie. He gets like the head injury, and he can't remember shit. And then he's like, his daughter's like, we're making cookies. He's like, why don't we make one big cookie?
That's a great idea, Ari.
And she's like, you're brain injured, Han Solo.
Yeah. So JJ, I thought this series would be fun because Shrek was lots of different directors. Austin Powers was one director, but
J. Roach.
different writers, very different sensibilities. I think this series is going to be like the most contained within a vision.
Movie 3 is Justin Lin.
Oh, new director.
Yeah, new director.
Oh shit, I didn't even realize.
Yeah, you were incorrect about
And
that.
written by Simo.
Simon Pegg.
Yeah.
What do you think?
His preferred pronunciation? Simo
Pegg. Yeah. Yeah, so that's a Justin Lin joint.
Okay. What what else?
Yes.
What else did he do recently?
Justin Lin?
He's a furious guy, right?
No. Well, the great Justin Lin is amazing. I'm gonna pull up his filmography over here.
This movie's got a lot of names. Those two screenwriters who did this first movie, they're attached to so many projects. I forget which ones, but they're like the Hurwitz and whatever. Those two writers,
Hurwitz and whatever.
They're big names.
They are big names.
So we got Abrams, we got Hurwitz and whatever.
Okay, so it's produced by Abrams and Damien Lindelof. Damon Lindelof, of course, of Lost fame.
Okay.
It's Roberto Orci and Alex Kurtzman wrote it.
Yeah,
Kurtzman
Hurwitz and
wrote
whatever.
Transformers, the Star
Yeah,
Treks, Amazing,
they're like
the Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Right. They are the guys that just like come in and write big scripts.
The Island, The Legend of Zorro, Mission Impossible 3, Transformers, Eagle Eye.
Ew.
Did they write that? No, he produced that.
This
Never
is
mind.
a heavy phone episode.
Watchmen, Cowboys and Aliens. I fucking saw Cowboys and Aliens.
I did too.
That movie, by the way, is like, it's one of those movies that's so bad. It's just like, it's not even,
I feel like Daniel Craig's hatred for the James Bond films has just sort of like erased him from actually being an actor anymore.
Yeah.
Where he's like still doing the James Bond movies, but I don't even know what else he's doing.
Spectre was miserable. And I don't even know if, I think we talked about doing maybe an actor by actor Bond thing just to spare ourselves a nightmare. But
doing 22, spare you guys.
Yeah, honestly, no one wants
23
that,
or 5 or whatever. But it's weird. Like Daniel Craig, he's one of those erased actors, I feel like, for me.
Well,
like
I think
he had
like
a big.
You watch the joy just drain out of him.
Jude Law's too. I mean, what's he up to? Is
Jude Law was in Captain Marvel, and he was great. I love Jude Law.
Oh yeah,
You
me
leave
too.
Jude Law alone.
Okay.
He's so tired.
Yeah.
He's your tired,
like that
angry
sleepy
dad.
guy in Star Trek.
Yeah, for sure. So sleepy. Okay, so we, technically speaking, do have to talk about Star Trek in the show. Okay, so I'm interested.
I think so.
We're starting a new series, and we're talking about a very distinctive presence, J.J. Abrams, who really has made his mark on American pop culture for, at this point, well over a decade. I didn't love the beginning of this movie.
No, you were out.
I was out. I didn't.
You
like
weren't
it.
on your phone, so that's
wasn't on my
something.
phone,
That's
yeah.
something. But you were definitely like making fun of it. You were talking over it. Not in like a fun way, just in like what the fuck is happening sort of way. And I agree with you.
Here's what I'm saying. This movie is a time travel movie.
Like all this, like would you consider Rumpelstiltskin's stuff in Shrek 4
alternate universe, different,
not time travel?
No, okay. So in this movie, it's like we open with the kind of boilerplate building of a character stuff where we see Spock and Kirk and their parallel lives as children. It's very uncreative. I think there's some cool design on the Vulcan planet.
Yeah,
but
uncreative, the math hole? You're calling the math hole uncreative?
Cool. No,
I love those math holes.
The storytelling is uncreative.
Oh, okay.
I would rather we do flashbacks or talk about their childhood than just literally show us all of that. I didn't think that.
So you're a tell, not show sort of guy.
No, the opposite. Well, in this case, maybe you're right. Here's what I'm saying. Okay,
I don't want them to show me them as kids.
Tell
me them.
Okay, first off, Thor is in this movie. It's weird.
We're all over the place today.
Well,
let's stick
going
with
back
the kids.
to the very this is
right.
the very beginning.
Back to the beginning.
The very beginning scene
travel.
is bad. I don't like it.
Well, I think what it was trying to do was really get you used to this style of filmmaking, which we could call all sorts of things: haphazard, swooshy.
Okay, so
craney.
I've been watching a lot of Marvel movies recently, and I'm going to throw Aquaman into the mix here, but a lot of like.
I can see why you're doing that. That feels much more like a Marvel movie.
In 2019, the kind of like balls out high fantasy version of sci-fi where it's like, this is going to be so ornate and elaborate. We're going to build these massive images and we're going to like walk you through them and sort of really soak in the atmosphere a little bit.
Did you say horny and imaginative?
No, ornate.
Ornate.
And a little horny. Dude,
I saw Aquaman.
Kirk be horny in this.
Kirk B? Aquaman B?
This is definitely
Captain Marvel B.
What makes this the most not a Marvel movie is that we don't ogle Chris Pine's torso for like an extended scene.
Right. And I personally, I know you had problems with it. I liked it. I know when we were in the room, I was like, yeah, this sucks. But down deep in my little heart, I'm into it.
Wait, that we didn't see that? I'm saying I want more of that. Marvel turned the gaze onto men more.
Oh, I'm fine with that. I'm just to not even talk about gaze, just to like talk about the way the filming is. Like I don't need to be like, look at the ship, look at the inside, look at these people. I like that it was just like cameras flying around, just like
it's so dumb. It just feels lazy to me because like JJ's whole thing is like, this is the most hack shit in the world to point this out, but like the lens flares in this movie are incessant and crazy.
I can't believe you brought that up.
I had to.
Why?
Because we're talking about the movie film world.
J.J. Abrams.
And part of the visual landscape for him is like literally anything we're seeing in motion, and it's in motion and we're in motion. Right. And there's a lens flare casting an angle across it, and we're going to start in a Dutch angle and pivot up around and swing.
Right.
And the beginning of this movie where we watch Thor,
baby Thor.
Chris Hemsworth doing an American accent that is just...
It's good.
Really
You're
rough.
Say good,
it's
right?
bad. He's just, you can hear him doing it, and like, I love Chris Hemsworth.
Oh, right, because he was supposed to be from Iowa or something.
Or some bullshit, yeah. Like, the beauty of him as Thor is that, like, with Thor Ragnarok on, we see a Thor that's like a really loose Thor, and it's fun, and he feels comfortable.
Yeah.
And in this, he's doing like, darling, is our son born? We'll name him Jim. And it's
That's awful. Tiberius... That's the worst.
Yeah, it's bad. It doesn't work.
I miss you, sweetheart, already. I don't know why I'm doing a British accent.
Well, because you can hear him slipping into his real UK accent. So that doesn't work for me, and I hate all like at this point, like there's a few nice images, but we're whirling through this.
But
world.
How do you feel about the Beastie Boys?
Oh God.
You're right. They used the Beastie Boys
later in the series. I think it's in the third.
It's in the attack scene at the very end.
It's a really hack movie making.
I think they use it as like a weapon.
Yes, I remember it's terrible. They introduce it in a really hack way. God. I hate it.
Justin Lin. Justin Lin?
Yeah,
come on, man.
I know.
But yeah, no, I'm with you. I think I'm more a fan I like the visual style. I like the cinematography, but I do agree that the pacing of this movie is very strange. It's very erratic.
It slows down in the middle, really weird, then speeds up again.
But like I see what you're saying where like the scene where they show us, air quotes around show for everyone at home, they show us Kirk like driving a car fast and launching it off a cliff just so he can stand up and say, I'm James Tiberius Kirk. Like
we don't need that.
That's insanity. It's nonsense. It doesn't actually tell us anything about this character.
To the movie's credit,
it shows us what JJ
when Chris Pine and Zachary Quinto show up, they're so good, and we don't need this elaborate backstory. And so to see them be like, you're a freak, Spock, because your mother's a woman whore and your dad's a traitor Vulcan. It's like we can learn that through his nuanced performance as Spock instead of like
so I
him
think what
being
you mean
bullied
to say
in a
is
math hole.
don't do I think you're right. Maybe we could have not done the flashback, but the way they did it was very telly. And I think as much as I love Leonard Nimoy, and I think he's a gem, I think you could cut out every single scene he's in, because all he does is remind us about friendship and the courage, and you guys need to find this inside yourself.
Yeah.
It was like everything he said was stuff that I already felt it.
But this is JJ in a nutshell, where I feel like his devotion to fan service is as such that he doesn't trust his own actors, I feel like. Or like, again, I'll say this all day. The whole cast of this movie
Please do.
is great.
Oh, yeah.
John Cho is great. Zoe Saldana is great. Simon Pegg is great.
The late, great
Anton Chekhov?
Yeah. Well, no,
Is
that's not his name.
No, whoopsie.
That's
sorry.
We'll cut that out.
Cut it out. He's dead, and it's awful. It is awful to see him. He was so talented.
What's his name?
I'm looking it up.
Please get back on your phone.
He was in Green Book.
Please get back.
No,
on your
not
phone.
Green Book. Green Room.
Yeah, that was.
He wasn't in Green Book. I'm making this so much worse.
That was Viggo Mortensen. I almost called him Vin Diesel. We're all over the place, man.
Anton Yelchin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chekhov. So wait, is he actually Russian?
Yeah, he is actually Russian.
So he actually talks like that?
No, like he speaks like a normal American.
He doesn't say Victor.
Victor.
You think? I bet. My theory is that he actually talks like that, and his whole life is him pretending to not. And he finally was like, "Oh my god, a role where I can be myself."
Finally,
Victor.
I think he was like, "I'm gonna get this part if I can just ham this shit up," and nailed it. Okay, so the tone of this movie, it's so deeply a J.J. Abrams production, but I think we agreed. I don't want to speak for you. They do balance the sort of like hammy, fun sensibility of the original, the sort of like campy. There's so many like silly fist fights.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of great like shop talk about dumb bullshit that's just like, it works.
Well, the moment I noticed you were in was when Bones showed up, and you're like, all right, this all makes sense now.
Okay, so Carl Urban side podcast right now. Carl Urban is the best. I love Carl Urban. If you haven't seen Dredd, a movie that will never be a series, his performance as Judge Dredd, as a huge Judge Dredd, the comic book fan, he's
perfect.
Idyllic. He's amazing in this. And this movie is sort of like, Chris Pine's really good at being handsome and hunky and balancing that with like a very good self-effacing sense of humor. And I think really good chops. We're both big fans of his performance in Hell or High Water.
He's perfect in this too. He plays
perfect
Kirk
in this.
Perfect.
When Carl Urban shows up as Bones, he is at a motherfucking 12.
He's at a 12, and his first line is him off camera. He's like not even on in screen. He's just screaming about space.
We're gonna die in space. My bitch ass wife left me, and I'm about to.
All I got left is my bones.
He just shows up and like, it's so electric where you like, and he's frothing at the mouth, and like I think that's the point where I'm like, okay, they took a risk with this where he's playing like, you know what, Forrest Kelly, I think, like this iconic performance as Bones in the original, and he's just like going to town on it,
right?
And I think that's where like I relaxed a little bit. I was like, okay, like, you know, I haven't seen this in 10 years, and this performance it's a lot. I can imagine some people not liking it, but like that's for me where like it sets up this one sequence early on in the film that really makes the whole tone work. Where
I think you're right.
Yeah.
It's like and that was why you relaxed, because this is such a hard thing to do. This is really why I really wanted to do this series, was because we're investigators. We're detectives. We are looking into worlds, universes, settings, places, landscapes.
Those two.
Yeah. What I love about this is that this series is a reboot. I'll say it again. This series
that we're watching right now
is a reboot.
It's a reboot.
So what that means is we know these characters. We know this landscape, the setting, the place.
Right.
Everything inside the mise en scène. We know it. We've seen it.
That's not what mise en scène means, but okay.
It means everything in the.
Just keep going. You're wrong, and just keep going.
Mise en scène.
Mise en scène.
It's just whatever's in the frame. Right. It's whatever's in the frame.
Okay, fine.
It means everything in the scene.
Okay.
In French. I'm French.
Okay. Yeah, we know.
Okay.
You vibe French.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Don't say that, please.
You vibe French.
Fuck. Yeah. Fuck.
Okay.
That's nasty. But I'm saying, like, it's very hard to like get these famous actors. Was Chris Pine famous?
No,
this point?
is absolutely his breakthrough.
This was his
role.
breakthrough.
Yeah.
Anyway, so fuck that. Scratch that. We'll get rid of that. I'm saying we have these famous performances from the past, and you get these new character actors. Are they going to go crazy like Bones? Is Kirk going to maybe play it? Like, what are we going to get that's going to remind us of the new series, but also still maintain this as a fresh series, a fresh place?
Of the old series, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so the sequence that I think we're both talking about is everyone. Okay, so long story short, Spock and Kirk, they both make their way to Starfleet Academy, and they do the thing, and they get in the thing, and Spock has his simulation, and Kirk cheats it.
Oh.
And Kirk's about to get in big old trouble at their weird cadet meeting. And then there's an attack on Vulcan. It's Eric Bana from before, the great Eric Bana. We should look into what he's been up to because we're both trying to figure out.
Put your fucking phone down.
I'm going to click on Eric Bana first.
Fucking damn it.
Eric Bana.
You don't have to say it. You don't have to say it.
God, he hasn't been in shit.
Yeah,
It's
what
been a
has he
minute.
been in? Please let me know.
I will. But no, okay, so there's an attack on Vulcan. Everyone has to get on a ship. Bones.
They don't know it's an attack. They think it's a
They think it's
seismic,
a seismic
activity.
activity.
Even though Mama Spock is like, oh, there's a big lava drill.
That's not good. The great Winona Ryder, who's wonderful in this. And
That's Winona Ryder?
I said it like 8 times during the movie.
I don't listen to you.
Clearly not. I kept saying how hot she was.
You're sick.
It's not
You're a
sick.
sick bad man.
I
That's
mean,
true.
it's objectifying. I'm not proud of that, but Winona Ryder's an
Yeah,
amazing
you were doing it to
actress.
everybody. You were literally doing it to everybody.
I was just like leering.
That's
at-
why I stopped listening.
oh,
You're like,
Chrissy,
Chris,
Chrissy,
fuck
Chrissy.
that shirt off again.
He
He was thick in that scene without his shirt.
Yeah, he looked good in it. He
He
looked
looked good.
He looked good.
Well, not
Okay,
a belly,
no,
but like a big
please,
torso.
please let me do the podcast. Okay, they're going on their ships, and Uhura and Spock, and we she's like, put me on the Enterprise. He's like, I don't want to be favoritist. She's like, put me on the Enterprise now. He's like, okay, and Kirk is in big bad trouble because he cheated on the space test that Spock made, and Bones is like, I've got a plan. I'm going to inject you with this thing. It's going to give you a thing. He's like, wait, what kind of thing? And it sets off this wonderful sequence
Yes.
where Kirk is reacting in the moment to this disease that Bones has given him to get an excuse to get him into the sick bay of the Enterprise. And when he realizes what's really going on Vulcan, he's running around the ship trying to communicate that what's happening is in fact an insidious attack from Eric Bana with the big forehead guy. And while he's fighting off like various infections and reactions and allergies to
Shots.
the things that Bones is doing, running around waving that medical wand at him and sticking it with needles, while Uhura is like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
It's great. And it has all the whirling, annoying JJ shit, but it's such a loving tribute to the kind of like hammy ridiculousness
Mayhem, yeah.
of Star Trek that it grounds it a little bit.
Yeah, I think it works. And I think those hijinks moments, there's a lot of them. There's that one. There's him on the ice planet running away from the big creatures. There's
And that's not a good looking part of the movie.
no, that's a waste of time. There's the Simon Pegg in a pipe.
Simon Pegg in a pipe.
Sorry, Simon Pegg
Peg
in a pipe.
in a pipe.
He gets wet. It's very funny
He does get
afterwards.
wet.
He asks for a towel.
Yeah, just for the rain, for my rain fans out there, no rain in this movie, but Simon Pegg does get wet. Oh no, and the boat is wet. The big boat, the
Yes.
big Romulan boat is just wet inside.
We realized while we were watching this movie that this is definitely a boat picture.
Yeah, at the end of the day, all of Star Trek are people in boats.
Yeah.
Which
I
is
mean,
funny.
this is part of the Navy, right?
They're space boats.
USS
I guess so.
United States ship?
Yeah, it's United States ship Enterprise.
I hope it is.
I think that is. Why even look it up?
Navy man who listens to the show, please tell
Hey,
us.
if you a Navy man or woman,
Do they?
they do.
Wow.
There are lady navies and people of all backgrounds, really, and identities. I don't care. If you're on a boat, send us a thing.
Send us
Have
a
you
thing.
seen Star Trek and you thought, that's like my boat?
God, there's so many Star Trek fans out
There's
there.
so many Star Trek fans out there.
That's another thing we realized was that while J.J. Abrams did this really cruel thing by including all these fucking dumbass shots of the USS Enterprise and Saturn and other boats that people recognized, while at the same time blowing up Vulcan and like changing everything that every Star Trek fan holds dear by like having gun battles and not just conference room shots. It's like he suckered people in and then gave them the big old double wet fingers.
Well, no, we were talking like there's a bit where they do a great red shirt thing.
Yeah.
Where, there's like, it's Sulu, Kirk, and Jeff or whatever are going down to like stop the fire nozzle from killing Vulcan. And so they do this like very like 21st century crazy Point Break referencing elaborate like jump sequence with a parachute. But then like they land on
the
this
21st. Oh, I see.
They land on
as
this
though
little
this were taking
platform.
place. Yeah.
Right. And then they do, well, I'm saying as opposed to the original series, this like elaborate action sequence. When they get to the little platform, they do a good old like, swords and punching and shit.
And the red shirt dies.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's that nice, I think at its best, it works in tandem between the two eras and their stylistic tendencies.
I just heard from a lot of Trekkers.
It's Trek.
What do they prefer?
Trekkies.
No, I think Trekkies is derogatory.
Oh my
I think
God.
they prefer to be called Trekkers.
My sensitivity training has not covered this yet. And,
Well, I think it's Trekkers.
okay. Then let's go with Trekkers.
Yes.
Hey, are you a fan of the podcast and you like the show and you want to go by Trekker? It's going to be a hashtag when will it end Trekker. Are you a Trekkie and you like the show? Do a hashtag I'm a when will it end listener and I'm a Trekkie.
Right. That's very long.
Twitter and Instagram.
Don't include the apostrophes.
No, include the apostrophes.
So hashtag I. That's like one of the most popular hashtags because people do that, throw in the apostrophe and then it ends the hashtag.
Yeah.
Sorry, but Trekkies.
Please stay on target.
Trekkers love that shit. They love that nerd
They
shit,
love
that
that
computer
nerd
click,
shit.
click, click, RAM, hard drives, space. What were we talking about?
Okay, so here's what you pointed out something very interesting earlier that I liked a lot, where you talked about this movie sort of being like, we're going to just go ahead and take your expectations, Trekkers, and throw them out
That's
the friggin' space window.
Yeah, which is a bad idea. Keep your windows closed on the spaceships.
Yeah, if you're listening,
Space boats.
honestly, if you're listening in space, first off, thank you for your service.
Oh, they're part of the Space Marines?
Space Force, Trump's
Yeah.
Space Force. By the time this comes out, Daddy Trump will have Space Force and the space will be safe again. Thank you, Daddy. I am voting for Trump's second term. The first time I wasn't convinced. Then he brought up Space Force and I was like,
He
that
brought up
sounds-
so much shit.
That sounds fucking baller.
But that's what pushed me
I was
over
like,
the
that's
edge.
a baller move. We should have Space Force.
Yeah.
Obama never gave us Space Force. Why did he hold back from Space Force?
Maybe it's just too soon.
I bet McCain would have given us Space Force.
Yeah, that dude
Yeah.
loves Space
He
Force.
seems to love it. He's dead now.
He died?
We'll talk about it after the podcast. But
you-
yes, John McCain's dead.
Dating the podcast again?
I am.
Fuck.
He died today. We're recording this the day John McCain died.
God damn it.
That's it. Look at your calendars.
Yeah, today's
Mark
the
the
day.
day.
Yep.
Whatever day you're listening, that's the day John McCain
He's
died.
now dead.
Rest in peace, Big JC. JM. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, okay,
Not
so-
Jesus Christ.
What this movie does that's really weird and fascinating, and honestly, I'm going to go ahead and say it. Maybe the smartest reboot decision of all time. We are watching a different timeline of the original series.
It's great.
It's actually
so smart.
really smart.
And that's why he did that thing where he's like, here's the scene of Enterprise where you can
Use names.
Okay, sorry. This is like he includes the shot of the
You
Enterprise.
didn't use a name.
Oh, Abram, like whatever, the director.
Okay.
Like there is a shot of the Enterprise as though if you hadn't seen Star Trek before, I was like, why are they showing us this ship? Like who gives a shit? Like Bones is like, take a look out the window.
Jim?
And then it's like, "Pcha," and then this ship, and it goes. Anyway,
Yeah.
he includes shots of ships.
They're called ship shots in the industry.
So he includes Ooh, that's hard.
Ship shots.
Ship shots.
Ship shots.
He includes ship shots as though, like, if you had never seen Star Trek before, you're like, so what? That's a really weird looking spaceship. But because he knows that most people have seen Star Trek, it's like, oh, there it is. We finally get to see the Enterprise.
Yeah.
But what he does do then is like, I know I'm going to piss a bunch of people off. So rather than make it a part of that series that you all adore, I'm going to just say, nope, this is a brand new timeline. Spock and Bana went back in space time, and now this is a new place. So you can still enjoy your old Star Trek, and this is now something separate
Yeah.
for millennials.
Right. For millennials in the 21st century. Yeah. So here's the thing. I didn't love JJ's visuals. I don't love. I liked
get
very little of the imagery here, especially again, having rewatched a lot of recent Marvel movies. Certainly, I would say if you're watching a Guardians of the Galaxy, if you're watching a Thor Ragnarok, you're getting some maybe the best pop culture visuals of like crazy cosmos or Doctor Strange of like really lush, fascinating, beautiful images of
Psychedelic.
space. Yeah, and then to go back to this very cold Bush era gray, and everything on the inside is sort of like sleek and weird and like very not charming.
Post 9/11 too.
Post 9/11.
Yeah.
We wanted a cleaner world after the ultimate crime. But no, like everything's like chrome or like smooth looking.
It's mostly white.
No, but Sulu's handle guy to make the ship go.
Yeah, the handle guy.
It's chrome.
It's
And
chrome.
like,
Yeah, a lot
fuck
of
that.
white plastic and chrome.
That being
it's
said-
basically like an iPod.
That captain seat looked good.
I can tell. I can understand why he wants to sit down in it all the time.
You know who's good in this movie? Bruce Greenwood.
Who's that?
I kept calling him Bruce McGill.
Oh, you did.
I know.
Why
Who's
did you
Bruce
call him
McGrill?
that?
Bruce McGrill.
For me, that was the scene that like first got me in. Was the post math hole, then watching Spock be like, "My mother's not a whore," to the council saying that he could be in the space math team or whatever, and then it cuts to Kirk
It's mathletes.
at a bar. That's when like
In Iowa.
and Bruce McGill shows up, and you're like,
Bruce McGill is another actor from Animal House and shit. He's a kid. You know him. One sec.
yeah,
He's in everything.
Please, God damn it,
This
put
guy.
away your phone.
This guy.
He is angry. I
You've
don't
seen
like
him in a million
him.
movies.
He makes me afraid. He's like my papa.
He's in Time Cop and Shallow Hal.
Is he the Hal?
And both
that
ride-alongs. It's
Anyway,
Jack Black.
Stop it. That scene was really great because Pine. That's like the first time we meet Pine, and for me, Pine's like I love him. I love him, and he like really works. And Bruce McGill is so perfect as like the older father figure. He's like, you could be better, and like that didn't feel quite as exposition-y as the scene where they kept calling Quinto's mom a whore, and like that his dad's a traitor.
I thought that the scene where they're like, "You did well at our Vulcan math test, despite being, all fucked up and shit." He's like,
Because your
what,
mom's
what
a-
effort do you mean? He's like, your mom's a human whore. And he's like, that is not a disadvantage at all. You see, it make me. And then one of the writers later on, like, just be the best you can be.
Yeah.
That's it.
So there's a lot. I did want to say this movie was definitely a product of the time. It definitely felt like an older movie. There's a lot of like this is a male movie, and I now like when I was a young like 20 whatever. This came out in 2010.
9.
So I was 24. I didn't really understand what people meant by like, God, here's that same old movie again. I was like, no, this is a Star Trek movie. It's different. But like, no, this is like a movie about men. This is a movie about fathers. Spock's mother's in it so briefly and she dies, but like she's sort of just like a prop. You don't even get to know her. Like the real heart of this movie is two men falling in love, Kirk and Spock, and two men who miss their daddies, sort of.
Yeah.
Like he gets to have some daddy time, but the daddy time is very like it's about him learning to. They both learn to like understand their fathers. So it's a very masculine movie, and there's a lot of weird shit with women. There's like unnecessary underwear scenes.
J.J. Abrams does this really like half-ass thing that I hate, where they're like there's these very objectifying, sexualized images of women in underwear, but it's sort of like a boring chase, like they're just in underwear or something.
It's
Like
so weird.
Like when Paul Verhoeven shows you a naked person, it's like nauseating and arousing and upsetting and like it's amazing.
purposeful.
Right? Like he really tries to use, even in in science fiction movies, like these like that
yeah, like Starship Troopers.
I was trying to. I realized there is no Paul Verhoeven movie remotely as like accessible as this. Like they're all so violent and crazy.
Yeah.
But like, there's something more offensive about like, and here's Zoe Saldana in a bra, where you're
Wow,
like,
for
what?
no reason.
This is just stupid. And then we see like Chris Pine's in underwear for like a split second. We don't like.
But
It's weird.
It is very different.
It's very different.
Like there's no reason why she would have come home and taken all her clothes off.
Yeah.
Well, maybe there is, but there was no unexplained.
Kirk is stripping her roommate.
Yeah. But and this came up, I think, in the second or third one where one of the main character women just like takes her shirt off for no reason. And then like this is 5 or 8 years later and everyone's like, why'd you do that, JJ? And he's like, well, because I'm a man. I'm a boy man. Sorry.
Yeah.
So this did definitely feel like a product, like in the bar fight in the opening, like touches her boobs for no reason. It's just like, what the fuck?
Just get that
like,
shit out of here. It sucks.
It's so weird. And like definitely was fine. Like this is why I'm glad to be away from Mike Myers, because that's all he was about. He was all about just like
if we can
fearing
never
women and
think about Love Guru again, I would get some sort of surgery to remove that from my brain.
yeah. I was halfway through the movie. I was like, Josh, no one's balls are going to get smashed in this movie. And I'm so excited.
We have finally moved after months moved out of a ball smashing zone.
It's so good.
It feels so good.
So like these little moments of like very tame, just, I don't even know if it's a misogyny or whatever. It's just like,
It's just
it's
casual
more just
objectification.
boy, yeah. It's just boy shit. And that's what we realized with Mike Myers is that it's like, it's just adolescent bullshit that you for some reason have, and then these men just don't get rid of it. And it sucks that it's still a part of it. Hopefully it will go away.
Okay, well, also we were talking about watching this movie. We're watching Chris Hemsworth and Zoe Saldana before Guardians of the Galaxy, Avengers, like before, like,
Yeah.
So to see the great Zoe Saldana, who has had a million awesome roles and is amazing as Gamora, and like to see her in as Uhura and just not really being given much to do.
I think she's good. Like the scene.
No, she's great.
No, but I mean, like I think she has some scenes, like the scene where
Yeah.
she consoles Spock is really nice.
That's a good scene.
where she's just like,
But she's out
great.
of the movie for a huge chunk.
Yeah, I
you
honestly
feel
forgot
it.
that she was gone. Yeah, like what? Wait, who is she? I even asked her like, is she a part? Like it felt like she was not a part of the original story
She
because
doesn't
she
have
has
an arc.
Yeah, she doesn't have an arc, and that's what I'm saying. This is a man's movie. Well, I guess a boy's movie.
Yeah, it's like a shitty nerd. It's like the casual nerd sexism that is just like dumb and
Yeah, and it's
irritating.
like the whole thing where in the opening, she's like, you don't even know what xenolinguistics is. And then he's like, oh, it's just the study of alien language. He's like, wow, that's fucking hot. As though like a woman would be suddenly like going from not wanting to talk to you to wanting to talk to you because you know what her field is.
Hold on. If you have the body of a Chris Pine and the brain of a James T. Kirk,
Wop, wop, wop.
yeah, I don't care what gender you are, you're
don't
gonna
either.
be interested.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Good point. Good point, Josh.
Spock's haircut sucks in this movie.
Is that the first? I was gonna ask. Is that the first time I've called you Josh on the show?
I don't know. What am I? The keeper of name books?
You're the numbers guy.
I'm the numbers man. Okay, let's talk
Yeah,
hair.
you're right. The haircut.
Let's talk hair real quick. Bones' hair, the great Carl Urban, best hair ever. It's
Good
tousled
hair.
and mussed.
Oh my god.
It's so good. It is the best hair.
I'd say everyone's hair was really good. Like even
Bruce McGillicuddy,
yeah.
incredible hair.
And his hair was really good after getting the bug in his mouth. It like on the wet ship.
I like
They
that
made his hair look bad.
They
but it
stole
still
that
looked
from
good.
Wrath of Khan. They basically, in that moment, were like, we're not going to do Wrath of Khan. And to show you that, we're going to take this iconic moment from Wrath of Khan and do it to poor Bruce.
Yeah. It was a good looking cast. Chris Pine's eyes are fucking gorgeous.
He is such a hunk. And we were talking about like, I said this, so I'm not gonna credit you for my good observation, but he's fearless in that he's a good looking guy and he just lets them do fucking whatever to him. In this movie, he swells up, he gets his face beaten in.
Yeah.
He just looks like an asshole and gets treated like a piece of shit, and it's awesome.
Yeah. And maybe he was actually real. Like this is your hazing movie. Just you have to do what we say, Chris.
Yeah. JJ just said, everyone does it.
Everyone does it.
it.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
I'll be fine.
You like Robert De Niro? Yeah. He
Look
did
at
it
his
too.
face.
Look at his fucking face.
Yeah.
I'll
I like Robert De Niro.
the actor.
The actor, yeah.
Really?
I do.
You're one of the few Americans who,
I gotta say it.
He is very critical of Donald Trump, and I think that
I've seen those videos.
we're at war. We're at war right now.
With what?
I don't know. I think Muslims, and it's important to stand behind the president during wartime. And these Hollywood liberal elites, they just feel like they can do whatever they want. And
What do they know? They're millionaires.
Yeah, go back to your mansion, rich
Yeah.
guy.
Which one?
Yeah,
Which
Yeah,
one?
Yeah, pick one.
Yeah.
But no, Trump is rich, and that is cool.
He's got the big mansion.
You got the big mansion on the hill.
Yeah. Wait, is that no? That's the Congress.
That's Congress. Yeah, never mind. It's the other one. It's smaller. Drink a little bit of water.
Yeah, you need it. Wait, is that your first sip?
Second sip.
But General Mills, they're always watching.
No, they're coming out. Charles, you need to leave.
Okay.
Take this flash drive. It has all the General Mills secrets on it.
Clap, 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 clap. That's me walking out the door.
Yeah.
Clap.
Oh, hello, General. I don't know. I just was on the. No. Ah!
Shut up, Josh.
So let me ask you this. We're one movie deep into the new series. Let me ask you the titular question of the whole GD podcast. Are you yet asking When will it end?
Well, I'm so glad you asked, Josh.
Well, we kind of have to. It's part of the show.
Yeah. Well, it's a hard question.
Is it?
I think so because it's already big. As you said, what, this is number 11?
Yeah.
We're very deep in.
Well, I mean, we're trying to approach this as a standalone reboot series.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. It's hard to ask because the world, as we've said it before, we'll say it again. The world's created. We're just coming back to it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm not asking when will it end yet, but it's like if I had watched from 1 to 11, I might be done, but we're not going to do that. So we're just going from now. No, I love these guys. I'm in. I
would say this is such a perfunctory movie where we're just getting all the shit out of the way that I'm actually even hungrier for number 2, where I'm like, let's settle in a little bit. I like the main cast. I like the performances. I don't love a lot of the aesthetic or the production design or the direction, but I do like the script is good. The performances are there. And this, I think this movie was at times a bit of a slog. Like we were just getting some stuff out of the way.
I think we've only done 2 series so far. This is much more of a Shrek than a Powers. Where Shrek was like, you could very tell that there wasn't a story. This was to set up characters, and then the next one was going to be what's actually important. This is much more like a Shrek, where Powers was like, this is a garbage character that I don't want anything to do with. Why did I do that? But yeah, so this is like, we meet the characters again, even though we know them, and now we're ready to go to number 2.
This is like a prologue's prologue. It is such a like introductory.
But it's also the epilogue too, because it's the end. It's the end of an old series.
No.
Yeah. Star Trek 1, Star Trek 2, Star Trek 3, Wrath of Khan.
Those had other endings.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, we're ending something and beginning something. It's both an epilogue and a prologue, while also being a prologue's prologue.
Okay, this is the roller coaster thing all over again.
How did you remember that?
I listened to the show.
You hate that.
It was terrible. That was really terrible.
I'm just making connections.
We're on a roller coaster, and we're sitting.
It made so much sense.
In the chair, and the roller coaster's green, and the wheels are shiny.
I never told you what. No.
And the wind.
You kept interrupting.
Breezy,
you kept interrupting.
And the sun is yellow. And it goes a chugga 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 toot toot.
Oh yeah, that was pretty good.
Roller coaster stuff. I'm on the same page with you. I think I'm excited for 2. Now this is one I also have not seen in some time.
I've only seen it once.
I saw it once many years ago, and here's what I remember of it. No, we do, as we do in the podcast, we try to like forecast what we want, what we expect from the series.
Sure.
I want them to have a better villain because love Eric Bana.
Can we talk about Eric Bana before we do that?
Oh yeah, I don't know if there's that much to say.
Well, no, I just remember people saying that they didn't really like him as a villain. They didn't even like the villain as a character at all. This viewing, I really liked it. I thought he was like boring. And the first time I saw it, or maybe even the second, I was like, this is sort of a boring villain. He's not all that menacing, and I don't think his mission is all that big. It just seems very petty, but I loved him.
He killed 6 billion Vulcans.
Right, but for what? Like, that's what I felt like the first time I saw it. I was like, that seems like a very extreme measure for something that was pretty, like, I didn't quite get the connection to why he would do this. I really loved it. I thought that it was sort of like a Old Boy, where like at the end, you're like, wow, this guy did this just because something for one person seemed pretty insignificant, but for another person, it was huge. And here it's like Spock's like, I did my best, but I fucked up. And for Eric Bana, he's like, you fucked up. I'm going to fucking get you.
And he does.
Yeah. And I thought that was great. So it was like, I was in. Bana fucking ruled. I liked his weird accent.
They kind of breeze. Now that I'm thinking about it, they breeze by the genocide thing.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Weird. He kills 6 billion. He destroys Vulcan, man. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's weird. It's a weird movie.
Yeah,
the tone is very erratic.
I think they breezed. Yeah, the tone's crazy, but they breezed by because they mostly show shots of Vulcan as though it is an entire wasteland planet. So you really don't get a sense of cities.
We go inside the math club.
Right, but I'm saying like whenever you see it from the outside, it's just red clay.
Remember when the guy's like, no one's turned down the Vulcan math club.
Get back in your math hole. Man, I want a math hole.
Me too.
God damn it, I want a math hole. Those were so fucking cool.
Sure were. But no, okay, so let's get the banner thing out of the way. What else you got? You banned it out?
Oh, that was it. I just like,
yeah.
I just liked, I really
He's
liked,
fine.
I think he was a great villain, but
I don't agree he was a great villain. He was adequate.
I think he's great.
I found him pretty unmemorable, to be honest. He could have been way more anguished and crazy.
I thought he was insane. Like when he invites the first captain onto the ship, and then he just like
stabs him.
Stabs him.
Tilda Swinton.
Can you imagine? All right, you're invited onto a spaceship.
Oh boy.
Space boat.
Yeah.
And you're having a nice conversation with the captain. He's like, "Tell me this." And he's like, "I don't know."
As you do.
I don't know. And then just out of nowhere, he hits a little button on his pole, and it turns into a big stick, sharp stick. He runs at you, stabs you. Like that's scary. I love that scene. I think he was a good villain. Unpredictable.
We're of two opinions here.
And he did the big jump.
He did do a big jump. You look inside the wet Romulan boat and you're like, why do they design this shit like this? There's no guardrails. Just like you just jump all over the fucking place. It's crazy.
That's why.
Okay, so
Romulans love to jump.
Here's what I want from movie 2. I want there to be a better, more engaging antagonist. That's like the center of the movie. Now we've gotten all the introductions out of the way. Let's get to it. Let's get in it. And honestly, I want more of that fun old intercast just having fun and saying funny stuff.
Yeah. What I want is I want more Spock and Kirk. They're great. I think this was just setting it up. Their friendship's going to be so beautiful. I don't need a better villain, but you know what? I'd also like a better villain because this one was really good.
Well, you know who we got, right? You might remember.
Bone and Dick Coming Butt.
It's Boner Dick Coming Butt.
Yeah.
The best joke I've ever thought of.
That's your joke.
It's my joke.
I'm sorry I said it. I didn't even say it right.
No, I set you up. It's fine.
Yeah.
Boner Dick Coming Butt. It's really funny.
Wait, is it Boner Dick or is it?
It's Boner Dick Coming Butt.
Is it Boner Dick?
It's funny. It sounds like his name, but it's crude.
Yeah, and
you
it's
get it.
Boner Dick Coming Butt. It's like a whole story.
It's fun to Boner Dick Coming Butt.
I get it. That makes so much sense to me.
He reminds me of Loki, as I recall, and tricks them into capturing him, is what I remember vaguely.
I remember nothing.
And the name of the movie, of course, is a wild choice.
Wild.
For a series, to set up a series where we're not going to do traditional numerological sequels, Star Trek Into Darkness is a weird title.
For me, it feels like a Wheel of Fortune before and after.
Yeah.
Like Star Trek, Trek Into Darkness. Ooh, we'll get rid of one of those Treks. Star Trek Into Darkness. Are you fucking kidding me? No colon? What a weird choice.
It's really weird. So
Who wrote, is this another Hurwitz and whatever?
Let's find out.
Who names a movie?
That's actually a really good question.
Is that the producer? Who's in charge of the title?
I guess when I think about it, it must be like something that the studio figures out with the people.
Think tanks.
With the people.
Oh, it's a democratic process.
Yeah, everyone votes. Everyone on the whole cast votes.
The cast?
The cast.
So we get
crew.
Bodie McBoat or whatever. Sorry to date the.
Okay, this one, it's Orky, Kurtzman, and they add Lindelof into it. Damon himself.
Who's that?
Wait, he's one of the producers of Lost, alongside J.J. Abrams.
Right. Director.
Whatever.
Producer.
Yeah, and there we go. All right.
Can you get off your?
I'm just checking. You asked me to find out the writer of the movie. I did it.
I thought you had it in your mind.
No.
Your mind is in your phone now.
Wow. No, that's a movie. That should be a movie.
Oh, shit. Who would direct that?
Stephen King, his second movie ever made.
Wow.
Because he did Maximum Overdrive. Perfect film.
Great.
Bring him back. He did a cell phone horror book, I think.
You did, yeah.
What
it's
if
called
phone was
Dead Zone.
What if phone was Murderer?
Dead Zone.
You ever think about it?
I did.
Anyway, so...
My dad was telling me about paper cell phones today.
That's not a real thing.
Did you ever hear about this?
No.
My dad was like, do you know what burners are? I was like...
I know what a burner is, but that's not...
And apparently he knows the inventor of the paper burner.
So it's a literal burner?
Yeah. Yeah. I get it. That was good.
That's pretty good.
You set it on fire because it's made out of paper.
Whoosh.
I don't know why I told you that. That was a podcast from Josh and Charles Productions with Josh Landes on the boards and Charles Hobby on the keyboards. Thanks so much to Waste Management for their song Windblown Dirge, which we use as our song. So listen to them. And if you liked what you heard, you can rate and review us on iTunes, and you can follow us and like us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all as at WWIE Podcast. If you'd like to send us an email, that's WWIEpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks so much.